Stitches of love we sew. In this online world we come to grow. Mom and Pop Quilt Shop, where hearts align. Let's embrace the craft and let our souls shine.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you may be. Welcome to the Mom and Pop Quilt Shop, and this is Weekend Project. We're going to make ourselves a dowel bag. Now this is great for doing like leftover carpet or carpet bag, drapery panels, or anything like that. You can put them together. It's a little bit of a thicker fabric. It's a great way to use it just by using a dowel as your handle. So I'm going to show you here today how to take it out of one piece of fabric. So what you're going to cut for the handles here ends up being the side of the bag here. Now I used a challenge to myself as using some of my orphan blocks for this project. So there's one behind me there too. It's a bigger bag. I actually was gifted the pattern to this, but I adapted it to make it smaller, and we're using the cutout pieces here as our side panels for the project, okay? So this one right here, I'm going to show you how to do just by the pieces. So what you're going to want is your rectangle sections yourself. However, use your orphan blocks, your quilted fabric, whatever you want to use to make sure you have two pieces of 23 inches wide by 46 inches on the long. Okay, so that's two of them. You want one for your inside and one for your outside, so you can mix and match and choose. I chose to quilt the front of this one right here, and then I just have my lining as just basic. And of course I used some of my orphan blocks from my recent projects. I wanted to make a memory of this one specifically, the triangle one, because it represents my trip to California and my friends that I hung out with and had such a great time. So I was making the quilts and I was giving the quilts away, but I was like, you know what, I kind of really want something for me. So I have a bunch of the leftover blocks, which is the orphan blocks. I said I'm going to make myself a nice little bag to go from the house to the shop and, you know, carry all my stuff, and it's not too, it's cute, you know, right? And use what we have. So the dowel I have right here is 1 inch, or sorry, a half an inch, I apologize, I'll insert a picture, half an inch by 48 inches, and the cut pieces were 21, okay, so 2 at 21. So once we have our fabric, okay, we got two pieces together, we're going to put them together, so they're going to be stacked up on top of each other, okay? Now we're going to just take our ruler, and I like to come in 6 inches in, but 5 inches down. So you can see their ruler here, it's a 6-inch ruler, so we're going this way 6 inches, and we're going down into the project 5. That means our 5-inch panel here, bit, is going to come up on the side of our quilt project, or I mean our bag, okay? So we're just going to go straight line here, and again, take our ruler over here to, at the 5-inch line, draw a straight line up, draw another line right across here to here, and then that's your cut line, okay? So you're going to take it and you're going to cut your pieces. Now this is out of your quilted fabric or your drapery fabric or whatever it is that you got, you're going to want to make your bag out of. Because I was trying to use up some of my orphan blocks. It's always nice to try and put a home to them and a nice memory in the process, right? So these become your side panels. So how I did that, to just make sure it's super easy to measure, let's turn to me just a smidge here, sorry. I took my panel piece, I folded it in half, I put it right on the fold of my outside project, marked it with a pencil on either side, and then that became the spot where I put that panel to be able to come right up the bag, okay? So I'll show you how that works here, okay? You can see that, how they just come up right on the side. Now you want to come in about a half an inch and a half an inch, and same about a half an inch and a half an inch. So that allows for you to be able to turn the project, okay, to come up the side of the bag. So you kind of want to give yourself a little bit of a space there to be able to turn, and then you're just going to pin. You're going to do them both the same, your inside and your outside, your lining as well as your outside fabric. Just do a little pinch. Let it make a nice, like a little corner that you would for, you know, putting your binding on. Okay, And then once we get those side pieces put together, we're going to have an outside and an inside like this. This one's a little bit shorter, but it just gives you, I was trying to get it all within the screen, okay? And then you're going to put those two right sides together, okay? Let's finish off this one. Okay, now we're just going to sew and sew and sew and sew. And sew and sew. And try and give it like a thicker 1/4 inch seam allowance sort of thing. You are working with bulkier items, so sometimes the bulkier, the little bit more of a seam allowance you want to give to your project, okay? Make sure we're moving our unicorn out of the way. Make sure our corners kind of meeting up there. Just do a little back stitch. Up on the other side. And when you put these two together, you're going to do it right sides facing, where you're going to leave one of the top of these side panel parts here open, because that's where everything's going to come out through. Got one more side to do. And then we can put the two pieces of fabrics together. And of course you would want to add your pockets. I'd offer like a 2 or 3, maybe even 3 inches. I say 3 inches from the top would be a good spot to lay out your pockets. And of course do that before you're adding your sides. Makes it a whole lot easier. Okay, now we have them. They're both the same. All right, and we're going to put the right sides together. So this is the outside. This is the inside, or whatever, it doesn't really matter, because they are literally the same fabric. And you're going to leave one of these to turn right side out, okay? And once you get it sewn all the way around, even the top part here, all the way across the top, across the long parts here, you may find it a little easier to kind of do a little bit of a curve sewing to come around these little edges instead of trying to be so sharp. I found it a little bit easier on the second one I did. Okay. Just so you can see generally what it's going to look like. And take your time, you know. And of course you only have a small gap to turn this bag right side out because you're going to use one of the side spots here where you're going to leave open. So you're going to start on one side and work your way all the way around to come to there, and then just do little back stitches. Make sure you're secure, and then you're going to turn it all right side out, okay? And then when we get to that part, we're going to have something that looks like this, okay? And then you're going to go and do a nice little top stitch all the way around, including the spot where we left open. Then you take your bigger flap and you kind of fold it down. Depends on if you want maybe an inch dowel, that's up to you. So give yourself the space to put the dowel in and allow for you to be able to sew a nice straight line, but keep that snug. It's not too tight and it's not too loose, okay? So that's going to give you an idea of where it's usually about 1.5 inches. That's what I found is about 1.5 inches to go around, okay? And then you're going to do that on all the sides. Now you could flip it out towards too, like if you wanted a little extra pop of color, you could flip it to the outside. It doesn't really matter. I think on the one on the wall, I did one on one and one on the other. Okay, and then once you get those little areas sewn down, you pop your little dowel in, and you got yourself your bag. Okay, let's sew those. And then you can just hand stitch a little bit back here, or even be able to just kind of secure it somehow. Okay, make sure these are the same as we're going. Oops. Just need a little less on that one. I had them all properly measured, but Some bleeding. All right, there we go. And then we're just going to stitch those closed. Okay. And then we've got a space for our dowel to sit. And it's a great way to use those fabrics that, you know, are a little bit tougher and you don't necessarily want to use them for making quilts. You can do them to make some bags. It'd be great for just carrying stuff in the car. Great little picnic basket lunch. I'm all up for a picnic basket. Oops, come here you. There we go. Just kind of line her up a bit. A little back stitch. I do use my walking foot for pretty much everything. I found, you know, it's a great investment in your machine. It's so useful for so many items, for quilting, for putting bags together, and I'm too lazy. I don't like changing out feet, so. And I'm trying to use the same stitch line that I used to seal up all the way around the bag to give it that top stitch. Okay. A little bit of a lock and stitch. All right. Just do a little trim because I've got an extra little long thread here. Threads everywhere. Okay. Now we just take our dowel and we pop it through one hole. We can insert it a little bit further because we have to put it over on this side. And I did the measurement out and I used my shears for the garden and just lopped them. Okay. Now you just want to kind of push the dowel in between. And then you should have enough space on either side, like a little bit of a thumb space, so you could do some little stitching right down there, and that's going to keep that dowel right in place. Okay. And you've made yourself an awesome bag. Leftover stuff, memories. If you love giving your scrappy stuff away, we've got lots coming. Our this whole year is all, we're making a one quilt a month that's given away to the people of our channel. So we've had 2 winners. Hopefully we'll be giving a 3rd one away shortly since March is over and or just about over. So, and there we go. That is my memory bag of my trip to California with my leftover blocks from that project as well as the February project, and then I've got bits on the side. Did I? Hold on. Where is it? Thought there was bits on this side. Maybe it's on another piece. I think it was on another piece of February's. So, or January's. Apologize. There we go. Thank you very much for joining me. Big hugs to you, and I hope you make one. Can't wait to see it. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Did you subscribe? Why not? Ooh. I'm a little